shit. I don't know shit.
Coley, Revelutionary here. Got some new shades and a new attitude on life. Every day I wake up like that, so that's not a new thing. This one is on Mr. Investor. I've had some intense investor negotiations and conversations this week, and I thought there were some teachable moments about stakeholder theory versus stockholder theory. So historically, the Fortune 500 and most corporations followed a thought process of being a stockholder theory. The only reason why companies exist is to make more profits for their owners and investors. Recently, even the Fortune 500, I don't believe out of any sort of ethical awakening. I believe out of necessity, because you can't sell shit if there's no planet or no people here to buy it. They switched to stakeholder theory, which means you consider all stakeholders in a venture. You consider your employees, your partners, your customers, the environment, the communities in which you operate, and your investors. So I have always been a stakeholder theorist since I studied ethics and evolution of industrial capitalism in summer of high school when I went to Penn, and realized those things don't equate. They're kind of like opposites. So I've become this, they go, Cole, are you a socialist? Are you a communist? Are you a capitalist? I used to call myself a conscious capitalist, and then I've come to start calling myself a communityist, which is kind of like communism, but without the authoritarianism and poor allocation of resources that everyone's historically not done well with, and it's, terrible branding. But now I think it's even further than that. I think what I'm really trying to get to is I'm kind of like a Native American. I think they were right where there's it's just about giving value and sharing and trading and everybody in the community having a role that's fulfilling and prosperous to provide what you need for a healthy, growing, healthy community. And commerce is the modern version of doing that. I'm not saying we go back to, trading pelts and stuff, but I think the machine we've built on top of this is gotten a little busy, and it's over financialized. And you got this GDP that's real. Somebody buys a haircut, somebody gets a car, somebody invents something, whatever. But then you got this whole financial system on top that's just got a lot of waste. And there's a bunch of guys who think they're the smartest in the world sitting at the gate just collecting most of the money, which is also a coupon with logos on it. I mean, it's a made-up thing. The stock market's a made-up thing. Corporations, entities are made-up things. There's a Tao, there's a universe, there's a reality on this planet that's beyond just business. And I know the more that sounds insane to you is the more that you're in the matrix. So this came to a head with an investor who was very literal about business. And first I'm going to start on how he was right. So he invested money in my venture with the intention to see it succeed and make money. He didn't do it as a nonprofit. He didn't do it out of the goodness of his heart, although I think that came into play, and I appreciate him for this. And do not confuse what I'm saying as any sort of animosity to a person who's invested in me and supported. I just want people to see holistically where I'm coming from in how I do my things. So he's right there, and it's not successful yet, and I surely would want it come faster too. So I can't. I'm on the same side there, man. I'm trying, dude. But where I think we disalign is he said some things like, I've seen this in startups before where the founder is wed to the idea and romanticizes the idea, and they won't let it go and they won't sell it. Well, I've not seen an offer to buy, so there's nothing on the table. But he's kind of suggesting fire sale it to just make a return. It's not even available, but okay. And also, you should put a board together that would be the decision makers for this venture, as well as you keep investing in more art, in business terms, IP, intellectual property, and you should focus your energies more on coming up with products that people want. And that sounds pretty reasonable, right? From a business perspective. But I got into this for a lot of reasons, and I'm a stakeholder theorist. So I have my other partners who put a lot of labor in that I have to consider. I have to consider what's Revel's mission statement. It's to give truth to the world via art and comedy and music, film. TV, podcasts, of which no one wants right now. So yeah, there's no demand, but I don't think that means it's not worthwhile endeavor. So why does Revel exist? Does it exist to make money? No, it exists to create truth and give truth to the world. That's our mission statement. That's why I do it every morning, every night, my whole life, through no considerable material success yet. That's what keeps me going. That's my purpose, right? It's purpose-driven endeavor. So you can't just boil it down to, does it make money, then it's worthwhile, and if it doesn't make money, then it's not worthwhile, because there's plenty of things that make money that are not good for the world. Oil, products that give you cancer, weapons, bombs. I mean, they make tons of money. Don't you wish they weren't here, right? Okay, so we need some of the other stuff too. Truth and love and empathy and information and edutainment and enlightenment and things that help people. Whether they want it or not, they're all hooked on the crack, buying cheeseburgers and doing dope. But, we got to give the good too, until they want it. And I actually think in the long run, it's going to be good business, right? Disney makes a ton of money because its mission statement is true. And you watch those movies and it resonates with your soul. And it's like, man, it talks about human ideals and the way we can do better and all these different things. That's kind of what Revel is in an edgier, comedic way. I hope that's the goal, right? So that's worth trillions to me. It's because when you just try to do it the way everyone's done it, yeah, you can make good money. But if you're doing something that no one else has done, in the long run, that can be worth infinite money because it's priceless, right? So for me, the mission is not to just make money, although I think it'll do that. No part of me is trying to be unsuccessful. I just don't prioritize that as the supreme principle and reason for a business to exist, okay? Now let's talk about labor versus capital. My right-hand man, Dooch in Philly, his dad was a head of the Teamsters. I loved Bernie Sanders. I always believed in labor and fair worker practices. I don't think any of us are compensated enough for labor on the ground, while the financialization highly overcompensates people who don't do much. But I don't let that politics go into my business. On the ground, I still think you got to value labor. So over the course of this company and venture, 15 years, I've probably made $600,000 in revenue at this point over about 15 years, not really even looking for revenue, it just kind of came. And we've probably gotten our hands on about $2 million worth of capital, right? Largely my own, and some investors maybe like $500,000 to $750,000 worth. And it never came in as a lump sum. It would be a $50,000 here, or a $20,000 here, $100,000 here. No big private equity, VC, high net wealth individual ever gave a lump sum, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, build this out like a company and go. It was built on TAL, walking along the path, collecting the peaches as you got them, investing into art, IP, and stacking IP. And so there's Coley with my films, TV, music, podcasts, etc. And then Revel Media, which is all the Revel brands. So anything with outside creators, Revel products, clothing, supplements, health. And I focused on development of the IP. So for the supplement business, for example, I created Revel Health supplements, prototyped it, made the logo, made the products, found the great FDA-approved manufacturer, trademarked it and protected the rights, and then tucked it. Didn't try to make revenue because it doesn't mean anything until the entertainment division blows up. And then like Jay-Z selling liquor, we're selling supplements, all right? And it doesn't mean much until there's an audience. So I'm just building the IP, which are assets that eventually will be realized with an income stream. The entertainment, films, movie, TV, podcast, streaming revenue. And then the products can be marketed, and that's streaming automated revenue. So there's a business foundation to it. It's not just nonprofit foundation communityism. There's a rationale to it. And I have $0 in personal assets. I bought 3 homes before I was 25, sold all of them to reinvest in my dreams. Every dollar I've ever made, 6 figures, almost 7 figures, has gone right back into the business. I have 0 assets and I put it all into my businesses, like Walt Disney. And like Roy Disney, his more conservative brother, partners have gotten mad at me often for like, dude, we should try to make some money. And for me, labor is just important. So if I made $150,000 a year on Wall Street at 21, and I quit to follow my dreams in 15 years of doing that, At the conservative, you would do 150,000 times 15 years. That's how much labor value I put in by the market, not my own delusional interpretation of my labor value. Now, realistically, on Wall Street, you make a lot more over time. I would say that's almost $5 to $10 million in labor value right there. Plus all the labor of all my partners and creative partners who do it for back-end equity. And this is why I always give equity to my creative partners, because I believe in that. It helps us be asset heavy and working capital light. And we just make shit using our energy. I contribute words, you contribute beats. I contribute face, you contribute camera hold. You type it on the thing, we got film, right? You don't even need a middleman. You don't need an investor. And the investors drive a harder bargain. So I always say to creators, dude, I'll get you the cash if you want, but I'd rather give you the equity because it's all got a cost. So I could give you 5% of the project, or I could go sell, you could say you need 10 grand and this investor is going to cost me more than 5% to get that 10 grand to give it to you. And now the guy who's not even doing the labor has it. And that's fine. They deserve that. And God bless you. I appreciate capital. Capital is very, very important. Money is king. Cash is king. Like, you need it to move the ship, but it's very expensive. So I'd rather just have the labor own their work product. So there's two sides of it. One, labor and workers deserve to own their work product and have a share in it, profit share, etc., stock. But also, I've seen some of the most socialist creators be like, nah, pay me cash. And I'll be like, dude, you can't be a socialist online and not walk it in real life. There's two sides to this puzzle, right? So on the upside, you got to take the equity. And startup culture is very used to this. There's, Silicon Valley, everybody's in a garage banging out until it's worth something, starving, eating, cheeseburgers till it's something, right? And another thing the investor said, so I value labor, basically. I value labor very, very much. And I value the labor of the 200 people who help make Jeebus and have co-ownership in it. And so when an investor says, do what I want with it and sell it to just get me a 20% return so that on my scoreboard it shows I'm ahead, sorry, dude, but I own over 50% and my co-op owns the other 30, 40, and investors collectively own 10 to 15. Democracy, pure democracy, we vote no. We want to try to make it bigger for all of us because that little spread might be a good return on your capital passively, but these people didn't do it for that. We did it to try to make a hit and make 10 to 8 to 9 figure hit franchise so that we all can buy homes in this insane environment where your generation scooped it all up, destroyed the environment, and we're gonna have to have more sustainable farming on our own land and shit. So we're aiming big. And you should hold out and wait to get the big cut. Why would we fire sale just so you get a smaller percentage quicker? It doesn't serve your interest, doesn't serve ours, and I'm thinking about everybody plus the truth, right? So this is the things that go in every day of running a business, and it's interesting. And you got to weigh various stakeholders. Also, you got to make things that are healthy for people. You go, okay, I put some tits in it and some crack cocaine and flash some guns and America loves it. All right, well, now you're selling unhealthy lifestyle to people, so that's not right either to get there quicker. It's harder to do it the right way and align with your mission statement. As far as your local community, I made it in Gulfport. So everybody in Gulfport was cast, crewed, and co-owns it. So I got to consider them first and foremost, because if you add up all those 200 people's labor, countless hours, not free because they have equity, and that's where they give me shit and go, hey, I worked for free. I go, you didn't work for free. You worked for equity, which is real money compared to cash. You could take your little $200, you'd spend it tomorrow on weed probably, and then you would have no equity that pays out dividends for life. So you got to walk the talk too. You got to walk the talk too that I'm walking with these investors, right? And that I'm walking. If anybody's getting hustled, it's me. I have $0 in personal assets. I put it all into this. I walk the talk. And so, yeah, is it not successful yet? Yes. Would I wish it was sooner? 100%. Has it been way harder and took way longer than I thought? Yeah, definitely. Who's that hurt the most? Fucking me. You contributed the energy that you could contribute to be back-end, big picture, speculative. I'm all in. And I'm putting up the money. I put 100 grand of my own money into Jeebus. I put up hundreds of thousands into Revel and etc. So if anybody's getting hustled, it's fucking me. So walk it with me. I'm kidding, but these people, they just got no fucking vision and they don't think long term enough. where it's like, dude, it's not about just getting a check to pay your bills. That's how you get stuck on the hamster wheel, working a job. Or with investors, they don't give you the 2 million, the 5 million, they give you just enough to keep you working for it. And they say things like, well, dude, it'd be great if you just got an exit, got a good return, and then we believe in you to invest in the next one. Dude, I don't want you in the next one. I don't want to fucking have to go to your teat every fucking year of my life to make ventures. I want to fucking hit a grand slam and then fund it via revenue. So I'm taking in as little capital as possible and sweat equity, busting it out with some duct tape and magic. And that labor, if you could, this is not even fucking spiritual. This is not even fucking ethics. This is pure business. If you add up all of that labor, all of that energy, and you put even a conservative number hourly on it, and you put it compared to the capital I got, labor has been most of the investment. Capital's a part of it. Thank God. Appreciate you deeply, 100%. But it's not the only consideration. We're in more. If you put it on the cap table, as is the cap table, we put it in more. That's why we have more percent, me and my co-op and my partners. And I thank you very much, investor. But it's passive investment. You got to ride with the vision. That's the other thing. They say they want to start making decisions and get me out of the way because the founders hold on too tight, and you got to get somebody in who has experience with startups and liquefying them. Nah, dude, fuck out of here. First off, that's the short answer. The long answer is, when we met, what did I say? What was the quid pro quo from day one? I'm not changing the rules. You're trying to change the rules. What was the quid pro quo of our relationship? I said, I'm going this way. I'm doing this. You can be a passive investor. They said, dope, give me a cut. Did I say, hey, I want you to make decisions? Did I say, hey, I'm going to make money tomorrow? Did I say, hey, we're going to just do whatever makes money? No, I said, we're going to do what I'm doing. Never was it the quid pro quo that you get to control it. Ever. Ever. So you can't say, oh, I want to control it now. You can't do that. That's a different quid pro quo. That's not the terms of the relationship which we were given. It'd be like, I'm trying to think of a comparative scenario. I don't know, but you got to stick to the basic premise of what it is. And if you want to divest your energy and focus, be my guest, but your capital's in and the percentage will come back when it makes money. Same as me. And until doing so, you're not going to change the fundamental mission statement or direction of the company. And if you don't believe in the underlying premise that Coley is worthwhile as an entertainer and Revel is worthwhile as a brand and consumer health products division, then you can't just say, go make socks. We were never the sock business. You'd be like, socks would make more money. It's like, cool, go find a sock company. But over here, we do this. I never said we don't do this. So but people's faith runs out. They come up with these artificial deadlines, timelines of when something's supposed to be successful, and then they judge it based on that. And they go, oh, it's over, it's not working, time to get rid of it. It's like, dude, that's not how life works. I wish it was quicker too, but God picks, Tao picks. It'll come when it comes. And I'm not doing this for short-term returns. I'm doing this to create an entity and a movement that will last forever beyond when we're all here. This stuff, what you're seeing right now, you might laugh at me now because I'm not successful now. But this right here, you're going to hear me talking forever. Forever, you got to look at this stupid face. All right? And the stuff we're doing is going to be good for the world. We're trying our best. We fuck up like the rest of you. But you see what I'm saying? So that's going to go on for a long time, beyond our lives. So I'm not thinking in quarters or 1 year or 2 years. I'm thinking in 50 years, 100 years, beyond me. And I'm building every brick very methodically, 100 hours a week since I started. Same passion as ever, just as hungry as ever, just as optimistic as ever. Couple more scars, couple more aches and pains, but fucking right there. And putting every brick solid is all that matters until you got the house. That's it. And I do think it's gonna make a ton of fucking money. Coupons. It will. The way this shit works, Netflix, etc., they buy movies 5, 10, 20, $100 million. TV shows in perpetuity, syndicated across multiple channels. We make the water, they got the pipes, we plug in the pipes, we rent it. It's like renting houses. It's an intellectual property. Instead of having to do maintenance and non-passive active property management, our IP's on a hard drive, licensed to them, rented to them, spits out in perpetuity annually. And we focus on making art and progress. It's a different way. And that's another thing. A lot of this is a generational issue. You know, the older generations are like, this is how it's done. It's like, well, that's how you did it. And now the earth is hurting. Bees are dying. Trees are burning. Water's going to become scarce. Wars everywhere. Like, yeah, your way doesn't fucking work. All the way down to business ethics, okay? So we're going to invent a new model that's sustainable, that creates things that are good for the country, that doesn't create waste, that doesn't just prioritize bigger numbers on a digital ledger while the world burns. All right, we're going to try a new way. Your way fucking sucked. So we're doing a new fucking way. So don't tell me this is how it's done. I don't like how you did it. And I'm a purple cow. If you got a black and white cow and you're going to market, yeah, everybody wants black and white cows. You got a purple cow, everybody's going to be like, fucking what? But then when you get on, you're the only one with a purple cow. Watch. Telling us this is how it's done. Well, business. It's like, well, trees, dude. Well, fucking air, dude. Friends, dude. Your family, dude. Like, it's fairness, dude. Truth, dude. It's like, it's not just business, man. And this is Chloe the Hustler, man. This is my evolution. I came into it baked in America strong, fucking all about the hustle. And this is what I learned from it, man. We got to heal too. It can't just be hustle. It's got to be heal. Productivity can come in many forms. It's not just economic productivity, economic growth. We also have to have human growth. We've over-invested in economic growth. There's plenty of money, plenty of companies, tech, all this shit cranking, war and all that garbage. We need to over-invest now in healing and people and humanities. And that's where I come in. You want to do that other shit, do it over there. But over here, this is what we do. You know? So, I don't know. I still love you, Mr. Investor. I really do. I really do. But you got to know what it is, and you got to stick to what it is, and quit with the University of Phoenix hostile takeover shit, all right? I went to Georgetown. I worked on Wall Street, and I am so far beyond that I don't even look at it like a Harvard case study anymore. All right, I'm beyond that. I'm trying to come up with quantum economics. I'm trying to come up with quantum finance. I'm trying to make real assets that spit out dividends in perpetuity, not be cash. And it's a harder walk. So it ain't for the faint of heart. Only do what you believe in. And fuck it, what do I know? Love y'all.
I don't know shit. Right now 76, thinking. I don't know shit. I don't know shit.